Good morning. Good Monday morning. The hour convening haven't arrived. All members, if you'll come into the chamber, take your seats. All members. Mr. Clerk, do you mind ringing the bell? All members. All members will come into the chamber, please. We're going to have the morning roll call. All members present will please vote green to signify their presence in the chamber. Mr. Clerk, will you unlock the machines? Have all members voted themselves in? All members. All members voted. If so, Mr. Clerk, will you lock the machines? Well, good morning. Doorkeepers, will you please close the doors and keep them closed? Members, if you will take your seats and give respect to some members from the Gwinnett delegation that will be joining together up front for a remembrance and some condolences this morning. We're going to go a little bit out of order, but I want to recognize Representative Jasmine Clark and Representative Hilton. We'll be making some comments, and the Gwinnett delegation. Members, if you'll all join me and let's stand. All members.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Yesterday, Gwinnett County was rocked by unspeakable violence against law enforcement. Two officers, Officer Pradeep Tamang and Corporal David Reed, were dispatched to a hotel in Gwinnett County for suspected fraudulent use of a credit card. Officers were directed to the room in which the card was used and were greeted by Kevin Andrews, who invited them in and later shot at the officers. Unfortunately, this senseless act of gun violence claimed the life of 25-year-old Officer Tamang, while Corporal Reed remains hospitalized after suffering serious injuries. Officer Tamang has been a member of the Gwinnett County Police Department for less than a year, joining in spring of 2025. And so I will now pass it to my colleague and fellow member of the Gwinnett delegation, Chairman Hilton.
Thank you, Representative. Officer Tamang represented one of the best of us. He immigrated to the United States 10 years ago, and like my colleague said, just graduated in May of last year. He was only 25 years old, and he gave everything he had, including his life, to the service of the people of Gwinnett County. Master Police Officer David Reed remains in the hospital this morning in critical but stable condition. He is also a veteran of the Gwinnett County Police Department, having joined in September of 2015. He answered the call for over a decade, and as we speak, he is fighting to recover from his wounds. Our prayers go out to him and his family. Mr. Speaker, this is the first time a Gwinnett County officer has been killed in the line of duty since Officer Antoine Toney was shot and killed in 2018, and only the sixth in the department's history. Today, I ask my colleagues in the chamber to please join me in recognizing the ultimate sacrifice made by Officer Pradeep Tamang. I ask us to keep Master Police Officer David Reed and his families in our prayers as he works toward a full recovery. And I ask the people of Georgia and the people of this chamber to never forget what these officers and what law enforcement nationwide give us so that we may all live so freely. Thank you, and God bless.
Just bow.
Say, yeah. If you'd bow your heads with me with a moment of silence. Thank you, colleagues.
Thank you, members. Condolences to the family. Prayers for the healing of the wounded officer. As is our custom, we will begin our day with scripture reading and prayer by our chaplain, after which we will pledge allegiance to the flag of our country. This morning, I have the honor and privilege of introducing our chaplain. He's a gentleman that I've known for many years, respect him greatly, from down in Effingham County, Georgia, Guyton, Georgia, down near Savannah. For those of you who don't know where Effingham is, it's just north of Savannah. He's a friend. He's a leader in our community and does just that. He leads in our community, whether it's in the church house or the state house. Thank you for your service there, Lon. Lon Harden has pastored at the Macedonia Missionary Baptist Church in Guyton for 12 years now. And that church is 156 years old, so it has a little history. They don't call a pastor what I haven't to call a good one. I can assure you this is a good one. He's married to a lady that I respect very much, and Miss Sheila Harden. They've been married for 35 years. That's a testimony to her endurance, no doubt about that. They have 3 daughters and 3 grandsons. Lon is now a full-time pastor. He retired after 32 years of service with Signature Flight Support, and he keeps himself busy at the church and our community. He serves on our IDA board, and he serves on our planning and zoning chairman of the city of Guyton. He also served 8 years in the U.S. Marine Corps. There you go, Chairman Hitchens. I knew that was coming, so I may as well ask for it, Lon. So it's with great pleasure today. And I'll go ahead and admit to you that Lon, his pinch hitting, he's always prepared. He knew about this about an hour ago. So we appreciate him. And, you know, life's about timing. Good Lord had you here to fill this pulpit for the day, fulfill this diocese for the day. So, Lon, come bring our devotion, and we appreciate you doing this and appreciate you being here and appreciate you for who you are. Thank you, Lon. Come on up.
Thank you, Speaker Burns. And to all those under the sound of my voice, good morning. I greet you in the name of our Father and our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. If you allow me just for a few moments to give a morning, I would say inspiration. It comes from Romans, the 8th chapter, and verse 38 and 39. And it reads as follows. For I am persuaded that neither death nor life, no angels or principalities, no things present or things to come, no height, nor depth, nor any other created thing shall be able to separate us from the love of God, which is in Christ Jesus our Lord. This letter that Paul wrote to the church in Rome is encouraging them. And each and every one of you this morning in this chamber are persuaded. You're persuaded in one way or another while you are serving your community and you're serving your state that you're doing the right thing on the behalf of the people. Paul here is emphasizing to us even a greater that even the good things and the bad things can take you off course. Here, Paul, his name was not always Paul. His name was Saul, and he was public enemy number 1. His job was to go out and persecute those who were of the Christian faith. He would take, amen, decrees, and he would take, again, there would be warrants to go out and bring them in by any means necessary. But I'm an earth, wind, and fire fan, and I always love to use the phrase, but something happened along the way. And there he was traveling down on a Damascus road with a group of individuals, and God picked him out of the group of people. He knocked him off his beast and hit him with the light, and only he was the one that received what God sent to him. How many of you know that you may be picked out to be picked on? Think about that. But you're called out of many other people to serve and do what you do here today. But not only that, but Paul, also his sight was taken from him. God took his sight from him after he knocked him off this beast, and then he told him to go see a man by the name of Ananias. How is it that you took my sight, but you want me to go somewhere? That's when you trust that I will walk by faith and not by sight. Sometimes there's things that we get into that we don't know the end of it. We don't know how it's going to turn out, but I'm going to do it anyway because I'm commanded and commissioned to do so. So I encourage us today, if you take away anything from this, is that you are and we are persuaded in this day and in this time to do what is right. And as I remind you, as I conclude this, is that looking at this, that you're persuaded in neither death nor life. That means things to present or things to come, the things that are unseen. That means our trust and our faith is in God himself. So brothers and sisters, amen, and delegates and all those under the sound of our voice, continuously to do what is right. Do what God have you to do. Do on behalf of the citizens and the people that you serve, because it is important. And be not persuaded by anything that's not right. I encourage you to do the right thing. So search yourselves, but know that you are persuaded. Nothing will be able to separate you from the love of God. Well, how do you mean that? Well, Paul here, I'm going to give you a little interesting about him, is that he was shipwrecked. He was in prison many times. He even was bitten by a viper. And that same hand that was bitten by the viper, he used it to heal a man. You're going to go through some things. We're going to face some things. We're going to take some bumps, some bruises along the way. Everybody's not going to be on your side. Amen? So again, if you're persuaded about your cause and about your purpose, that won't bother you. You got bit by a snake, shake it off. You got in prison, you come out, you're going to be all right. That's what I'm talking about. To persuade it of doing the right thing means that you'll go through many things to do the right thing. So in my conclusion, again, ask yourself, are you persuaded in this season that we live in to do the right thing no matter what is taking place? Let us pray. Our Father in heaven, we come now, God, in the humblest manner that we know how. We come thanking you for another day's journey, and we are glad about it. Thank you for life, health, and strength in the air that we breathe. Thank you for watching over us all night long while we slumbered and slept, that no fire didn't break out and no robber didn't break in. But, oh God, we lift up the Gwinnett delegation this morning. Oh God, on behalf of those officers that lost their lives in the line of duty and that are fighting for his life. God, we know that you're a healer and you are a protector. And God, we ask that you continuously heal and protect and comfort that families. And Lord, look on us here today. Continuously keep the hedge of protection around us. Look after our country, this world that we live in, the leadership in Washington, the leadership here in Atlanta, oh God, and in our municipalities all across the state of Georgia. And we give you all the praise, all the glory, and all the honor that you richly deserve. For it is in your name we pray. Amen. Let us now look to the flag for our Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all very much, and I appreciate the opportunity to serve.
Doorkeepers, you may unlock the doors. So sometimes you just know. You know a fellow, you know his heart. I knew Lon didn't need much notice before he could bring us a devotion today that would be meaningful. Thank you, Reverend Harden, and we appreciate you. Members, you may greet Pastor Hardin out in the South Anteroom and express your thanks for him being here today. Representative Shay Roberts. No, I'm just thanking you for bringing our doctor of the day today. Thank you, Dr. Osama Hashmi. We appreciate him being here. And tell him thanks if you see him, but he's down in the med room if you need his services. Chair recognizes Chairman Hilton, the chair of the Committee on Information and Audits. Chairman Hilton.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. For a minute, I was worried we had a different chair of information audits. We had a snow day on Saturday, but we got down to business on Sunday, and we reviewed that journal, and we found it to be correct.
Appreciate your diligence in sticking with the job. Chairman Hilton, the chair of the Committee on Information and Audits, reports that the journal of the previous legislative day has been read and found to be correct. Is there any objection to dispense with the reading of the journal? Hearing none, the reading of the journal is dispensed with. Is there any objection to the confirmation of the journal? Hearing none, the journal is confirmed. Mr. Clerk, will you read the resolution establishing the order of business of the day?
Representative Administration in the 104th moves following be established as the order of business during the first part of the period. Unanimous consents. Introduction of bills and resolutions. First reading and reference of House bills and resolutions. Second reading of bills and resolutions. Reports of standing committees. Third reading and passage of uncontested local bills and resolutions. Morning orders.
Is there any objection to the adoption of the resolution establishing the order of business for the day? Hearing none, the resolution is adopted. First reading of bills and resolutions. Mr. Clerk, will you read?
House Bill 1083 by Representative Leverett of the 123rd and Powell of the 33rd. A bill being titled Act authorize the assessment and collection of a technology fee by the Magistrate Court of Madison County.
Intragovernmental coordination.
House Bill 1084 by Representative Leverett of the 123rd and Powell of the 33rd. A bill being titled Act authorize the assessment and collection of a technology fee by the Probate Court of Madison County.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 1085 by Representative Petrie of the 166th, Burns of the 159th, Cannon of the 172nd, Burchett of the 176th, Buckner of the 137th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 2, Chapter 7 of Title 4080 of the Official Code of Georgia, annotated, relating to the imposition rate computation exemptions and credits relative to income taxes.
Ways and Means.
House Bill 1086 by Representative Chastain of the 7th, McDonald of the 26th, Cannon of the 172nd, McCollum of the 30th, Jaspers of the 11th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 2, Title 25 of the Official Code of Georgia, annotated, relating to regulation of fire and other hazards.
Regulated Industries.
House Bill 1087 by Representative Bonner of the 73rd, Hitchens of the 161st, Osteen of the 169th, Prince of the 132nd, Donatucci the 105th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 80 of Title 36 of the Official Code of Georgia, annotated, relating to general provisions regarding provisions applicable to counties and municipal corporations.
Defense and Veteran Affairs.
House Bill 1088 by Representative Mathiak of the 82nd, Reeves of the 99th, Jones of the 143rd, Green of the 154th, Evans of the 57th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 9 of Title 43 of the Official Code of Georgia, annotated, relating to chiropractors.
Health.
House Bill 1089 by Representative Mathiak of the 82nd, Clark of the 100th, Hagan of the 156th, and Byrd of the 20th. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 13 to Title 16 and Chapter 4, Title 26 of the Official Code of Georgia, annotated, relating to controlled substances and pharmacists and pharmacies.
Health.
House Bill 1090 by Representative Corbett of the 174th. Bill be titled an act to amend an act revising, superseding, and consolidating the laws creating and governing the Board of Commissioners of Eccles County.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 1091 by Representative Corbett of the 174th. Bill be titled an act to provide for a non-binding advisory referendum for the purposes of ascertaining whether the electors of Bradley County support a perimeter highway bypass.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 1092 by Representative Yurt of the 152nd, Green of the 154th, Chokus of the 151st, and Sampson of the 153rd. Bill be titled an act to amend an act creating the Chickaw Park Authority.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 1093 by Representative Burchett of the 176th and Corbett of the 174th. Bill be titled an act to provide for a non-binding advisory referendum for the purposes of ascertaining whether the electors of Ware County support a perimeter highway bypass around Waycross.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 1094 by Representative Davis, the 87th, Scott of the 76th, Schofield of the 63rd. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 2, Title 20 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to elementary and secondary education.
Education.
House Bill 1095 by Representative Powell of the 33rd, Tarvin of the 2nd, Ridley of the 6th, Jaspers of the 11th. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 10 and Title 25 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to regulation of fireworks.
Regulated industries.
House Bill 1096 by Representative Taylor of the 173rd, Hatchett of the 155th, Sharper of the 177th, Osteen of the 169th, and Cooper of the 45th. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 1 of Chapter 2A, Title 31 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to general provisions relevant to the Department of Public Health.
Public and community health.
House Bill 1097 by Representative Petrie of the 166th, Dempsey of the 13th, Hilton of the 48th, Cameron of the 1st, Saints of the 80th. Bill be titled an act to amend Title 37 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to mental health.
Public and community health.
House Bill 1098 by Representative Davis of the 87th, Scott of the 76th, Schofield of the 63rd. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 34 of Title 50 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to the One Georgia Authority.
Economic development and tourism.
House Bill 1099 by Representative Flournoy of the 74th, Reese of the 140th, Howard of the 129th, Adenia of the 110th, Dawson of the 65th. Bill be titled an act to amend Part 3 of Article 6 of Chapter 2 of Title 20 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to educational programs in elementary and secondary education.
Education.
House Bill 1100 by Representative Bell of the 75th, Fry of the 122nd, Berry of the 56th, Jones of the 60th, Stinson of the 150th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 8 of Title 48 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to sales and use taxes.
Ways and means.
House Bill 1101 by Representative Clark of the 100th, Kahanian of the 81st, Donahue of the 31st, Fleming of the 114th, Reeves of the 99th. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 5 of Title 48 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to ad valorem taxation of property.
Ways and means.
House Bill 1102 by Representative Clark of the 100th, Green of the 154th, Reeves of the 99th, Bonner of the 73rd, Hilton of the 48th, and others. The bill be titled an act to amend Article 7, Chapter 5 of Title 48 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to miscellaneous local administrative provisions.
Ways and means.
House Bill 1103 by Representative Bell of the 75th, Gilliard of the 162nd, Holly of the 116th, Jackson of the 128th, Fry of the 122nd, and others. The bill be titled an act to amend Part 2 of Article 3 of Chapter 6 of Title 32 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to state highway system.
Transportation.
House Bill 1104 by Representative Townsend of the 179th, Glaze of the 67th, Stevens of the 164th, Mathiak of the 82nd, Howe of the 50th, and others. Bill be entitled an act to amend Code Section 31.9.6.1 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to required disclosures and consent for certain procedures.
Health.
House Bill 1105 by Representative Washburn of the 144th, Donahue of the 31st, Scoggins of the 14th, Reeves of the 99th, and Donatucci of the 105th. Bill being titled an act to amend Part 1 of Article 2 of Chapter 5 of Title 48 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to tax exemptions.
Ways and Means.
Bill 1106 by Representative Berry of the 56th, Miller of the 62nd, Parker of the 107th, Barnes of the 86th, Drenner of the 85th, and others. The bill being entitled Act to amend Chapter 2 of Title 31 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to the Department of Community Health.
Human Relations and Aging. Ms. Clerk, will you suspend just for a moment? Thanks. Lower it down just a couple of octaves and we'll be fine. Proceed, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 1107 by Representative Rice, the 139th, Jones, the 47th, Irwin of the 32nd, Townsend of the 179th, Hilton of the 48th, and others. Bill be titled Act to amend Part 10 of Article 17 of Chapter 2 of Title 20 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to professional standards.
Education.
House Bill 1108 by Representative Byrd of the 20th, Kahanian of the 81st, Fincher of the 23rd. Bill be titled Act to amend Chapter 2 of Title 21 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to elections and primaries generally.
Governmental Affairs.
House Bill 1109 by Representative Byrd of the 20th, Kahanian of the 81st, Donahue of the 31st, and Baird of the 24th. The bill be titled Act to amend Code Section 21-417 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to presentation of proper identification to poll workers.
Governmental Affairs.
House Bill 1110 by Representative Hilton of the 48th, Reeves of the 99th, Lumsden of the 12th, Newton of the 127th, Smith of the 138th, and others. Bill be titled Act to amend Article 2, Chapter 7 of Title 48 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to imposition, rate computation, exemptions, and credits for income taxes.
Ways and Means.
House Bill 1111 by Representative Leverett of the 123rd, Williams of the 148th, Rhodes of the 124th, and Gunner of the 8th. Bill be titled Act to amend Chapter 8 of Title 48 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to sales and use taxes.
Ways and Means.
House Bill 1112 by Representative Baird of the 24th, Martin of the 49th, Cox of the 28th, Blackman of the 146th, Smith of the 138th, and others. Bill be titled Act to amend Chapter 1 of Title 10 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to selling and other trade practices.
Banks and Banking.
House Bill 1113 by Representative Baird of the 24th, Martin of the 49th, Jaspers of the 11th, and Cox of the 29th. A bill to be entitled an act to amend to Code Section 47-22-1 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to definitions regarding the Georgia Defined Contribution Plan.
Retirement.
House Bill 1114 by Representative Yurt of the 152nd, Dubnik of the 29th, Irwin of the 32nd, Wade of the 9th, Paris of the 142nd. Bill be titled Act to amend Part 2 of Article 6 of Chapter 2 of Title 20 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to competencies and core curriculum under the Quality Basic Education Act.
Education.
House Bill 1115 by Representative McCollum of the 30th, Burchett of the 176th, Fleming of the 114th, Stevens of the 164th, and F. Stration of the 104th. Bill be titled Act to amend Chapter 3, Title 44 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to regulation of specialized land transactions.
Governmental Affairs.
House Bill 1116 by Representative Blackman of the 146th, Burns of the 159th, F. Stration of the 104th, Hatchett of the 155th, Cannon of the 172nd, and others. The bill be titled an act to amend Chapters 5 and 8 of Title 48 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to ad valorem taxation of property.
Ways and Means.
House Resolution 1155 by Representative Schofield of the 63rd, Davis of the 87th, Scott of the 76th, Sanchez of the 42nd, Mathiak of the 82nd, a resolution urging statewide support for passage of the Georgia PAD Screening and Amputation Prevention Act.
Special Rules.
House Resolution 1156 by Representative Baker of the 64th, Davis of the 87th, Dempsey of the 13th, Scott of the 76th, Stinson of the 150th, and others. A resolution recognizing January as National Birth Defects Prevention Month.
Special rules.
House Resolution 1157 by Representative Petrie of the 166th, Stevens of the 164th, Seaball of the 34th, Cannon of the 172nd, Dickey of the 134th. A resolution reaffirming support of the United States national motto.
Special rules.
That completes first readers.
Second reading of bills and resolutions. Mr. Clerk, will you read?
House Bill 1055 by Representative Holly of the 116th, Mitchell of the 88th, Cummings of the 39th, Jones of the 143rd, Miles of the 126th, a bill relating to landlord and tenant. House Bill 1056 by Representative Townsend of the 179th, Irwin of the 32nd, Glaze of the 67th, Donatucci of the 105th, Stevens of the 164th, and others, a bill relating to student health in elementary and secondary education. House Bill 1057 by Representative Kendrick of the 95th, Estration of the 104th, Park of the 107th, Reeves of the 99th, Hong of the 103rd, and others, a bill to amend an act to continue and recreate the State Court of Gwinnett County. House Bill 1058 by Representative Buckner of the 137th, Smith of the 138th, Camp of the 135th, Rice of the 139th, Hagan of the 156th, and others, a bill relating to group life insurance. House Bill 1059 by Representative Jackson of the 68th, Schofield of the 63rd, Scott of the 76th, Davis of the 87th, Mitchell of the 88th, a bill relating to general provisions regarding public utilities, public transportation. House Bill 1060 by Representative Jackson of the 68th, Scott of the 76th, Schofield of the 63rd, and Davis of the 87th, a bill relating to crimes and offenses. House Bill 1061 by Representative Camp of the 135th, Burchett of the 176th, Reeves of the 99th, Gunter of the 8th, Santos of the 117th, and others, a bill relating to the Juvenile Code. House Bill 1062 by Representative Rice of the 139th, Hilton of the 48th, Chokas of the 151st, Ballard of the 147th, Glaze of the 67th, and others, a bill relating to the state school superintendent. House Bill 1063 by Representative Thomas of the 21st, Burns of the 159th, Cannon of the 172nd, Donatucci of the 105th, Hilton of the 48th, and others, a bill relating to generation and distribution of electricity. House Bill 1064 by Representative Rice of the 139th, Gamble of the 15th, Martin of the 49th, Barrett of the 24th, Townsend of the 179th, and others, a bill relating to education. House Bill 1065 by Representative Smith of the 138th, Rice of the 139th, Buckner of the 137th, Huddleston of the 72nd, and Jenkins of the 136th, a bill to provide a homestead exemption from City of West Point ad valorem taxes. House Bill 1066 by Representative Wade of the 9th, Powell of the 33rd, Mathiak of the 82nd, Smith of the 18th, Bonner of the 73rd, and others, a bill relating to general provisions regarding nuisances. House Bill 1067 by Representative Smith of the 138th, Huddleston of the 72nd, Jenkins of the 136th, Buckner of the 137th, Rice of the 139th, a bill to provide a homestead exemption from City of West Point ad valorem taxes. House Bill 1068 by Representative Davis of the 87th, Schofield of the 63rd, and Scott of the 76th, a bill relating to general provisions regarding the General Assembly and legislative services. House Bill 1069 by Representative Donohue of the 31st, Carpenter of the 4th, Smith of the 18th, Horner of the 3rd, Scoggins of the 14th, and others, a bill relating to vital records. House Bill 1070 by Representative Hagan of the 156th, Jaspers of the 11th, Tarvin of the 2nd, Green of the 154th, Cox of the 28th, a bill relating to income tax imposition rate and computation exemptions and credits. House Bill 1071 by Representative Schofield of the 63rd, McLean of the 109th, Davis of the 87th, Scott of the 76th, Holly of the 116th, and others, a bill relating to the Department of Labor. House Bill 1072 by Representative Townsend of the 179th, Stevens of the 164th, Smith of the 70th, Buckner of the 137th, Franklin of the 160th, and others, a bill relating to the Environmental Protection Division, Environmental Advisory Council, duties of council and its members. House Bill 1073 by Representative Carter of the 93rd, Hughley of the 141st, McLean of the 109th, Douglas of the 78th, Powell of the 33rd, and others, a bill relating to license plates promoting or supporting certain agencies, funds, or nonprofit corporations. House Bill 1074 by Representative Reeves of the 99th, Park of the 107th, Hong of the 103rd, Clark of the 100th, Abstration of the 104th, and others, a bill to provide a homestead exemption from City of Suwanee ad valorem taxes. House Bill 1075 by Representative Chastain of the 7th, Gunter of the 8th, Smith of the 18th, Hagan of the 156th, Camp of the 135th, and others, a bill relating to sexual offenses. House Bill 1076 by Representative Earhart of the 36th, Burchett of the 176th, Crow of the 118th, Sains of the 180th, Smith of the 18th, a bill relating to obstruction of public administration and related offenses. House Bill 1077 by Representative Williams of the 148th, Corbett of the 174th, Cannon of the 172nd, Smith of the 18th, Buckner of the 137th, and others, A bill relating to exemptions from sales and use taxes, House Bill 1078 by Representative Hilton of the 48th, Tarvin of the 2nd, Horner of the 3rd, Barrett of the 24th, Powell of the 33rd, and others. A bill relating to general provisions relative to the Georgia Administrative Procedure Act, House Bill 1079 by Representatives Jones of the 143rd, Hilton of the 48th, Stevens of the 164th, Washburn of the 144th, Herring of the 145th, and others. A bill relating to tax credits for the rehabilitation of historic structures. House Bill 1080 by Representative Neal of the 79th, Crow of the 118th, Hitchens of the 161st, Chokus of the 151st. A bill relating to the Criminal Justice Coordinating Council. House Bill 1081 by Representative Neal of the 79th, Jones of the 25th, Oliver of the 84th, Dempsey of the 13th. A bill relating to protection of disabled adults and elder persons. House Bill 1082 by Representative Martinez of the 111th, Cahayan of the 81st, Chastain of the 7th, Donatucci of the 105th, Clark of the 100th, and others. A bill relating to holidays and observances. House Resolution 1103 by Representative Hawley of the 116th, Moore of the 91st, Mitchell of the 88th, Jones of the 143rd, Cummins of the 39th, and others. A resolution encouraging state and local governments to assist with reducing Wall Street land ownership of residential properties to help the state flourish. House Resolution 1104 by Representative Washburn of the 144th, Dickey of the 134th, Rhodes of the 124th, Corbett of the 174th, Fry of the 122nd, and others. Resolution proposing amendment to the Constitution so as to provide that the governing authority of any county or consolidated government shall be authorized to impose a sales and use tax in such county or consolidated government. House Resolution 1105 by Representative Jackson of the 68th, Schofield of the 63rd, Scott of the 76th, Davis of the 87th, Mitchell of the 88th. The resolution proposing amendment to the Constitution of the State of Georgia so as to provide the creation of the Georgia Independent Redistricting Commission. House Resolution 1106 by Representative Schofield of the 63rd, Davis of the 87th, Scott of the 76th, Mitchell of the 88th, Clark of the 108th. Resolution urging statewide support for passage of the Audiology Practice Modernization Act. House Resolution 1107 by Representative Mitchell of the 88th. A resolution recognizing and supporting the Family Restoration and Reentry Program as a comprehensive framework for restoring families and communities. House Resolution 1108 by Representative Scott of the 76th, Davis of the 87th, Schofield of the 63rd, a resolution recognizing the urgent need to equip Georgia students with the skills in critical media consumption. House Resolution 1109 by Representative Scott of the 76th, Schofield of the 63rd, and Davis of the 87th, a resolution recognizing the urgent need for sentencing alternatives and treatment programs for Georgians with serious mental illnesses. House Resolution 1110 by Representative Scott of the 76th, Davis of the 87th, Schofield of the 63rd, resolution urging the Georgia General Assembly to support and enact the legislation to establish and maintain a comprehensive electronic inpatient psychiatry bed registry in Georgia. House Resolution 1111 by Representative Scott of the 76th, Davis of the 87th, Schofield of the 63rd, resolution encouraging bipartisan support for and promotion of critical media consumption and literacy education in Georgia's public high schools. House Resolution 1112 by Representative Scott of the 76th, Davis of the 87th, Schofield of the 63rd, a resolution urging statewide support for the Georgia Menstrual Equity Act of 2026. House Resolution 1113 by Representative Barrett of the 24th, F. Station of the 104th, Gaines of the 120th, Tarvin of the 2nd, Cannon of the 172nd, and others. A resolution urging the Congress of the United States to recognize chronic federal deficit spending as a root cause of inflation and long-term economic instability. House Resolution 1114 by Representative Blackman of the 146th, Burns of the 159th, F. Station of the 104th, Hatchett of the 155th, Cannon of the 172nd, and others. A resolution proposing amendment to the Constitution so as to remove the cap on benefits granted pursuant to the Homeowners Incentive Adjustment Clause through second readers.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Reports of standing committees. Mr. Clerk, will you read?
Representative Williams of the 148th District, Chairman of the Committee on Banks and Banking, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, Committee on Banks and Banking has had under its consideration the following bills of the House. Instructed me to report the same back to the House with following recommendation. House Bill 945 to pass by committee substitute. Respectfully submitted, Representative Williams of the 148th District, Chairman. Representative Ron Stevens, the 164th District, Chairman of the Committee on Economic Development and Tourism, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Economic Development and Tourism has had under its consideration the following bill of the House. It's instructed me to report the same back to the House following recommendation. House Bill 980 do pass. Respectfully submitted, Representative Ron Stevens, 164th District, Chairman. Representative McDonald, the 26th District Chairman of the Committee on Intergovernmental Coordination Local, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Intergovernmental Coordination Local has had under its consideration the following bill of the House. Has instructed me to report the same back to the House with the following recommendation. House Bill 1029 do pass. Respectfully submitted, Representative McDonald of the 26th District, Chairman. That completes the reading of the report's standing committees.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. All right, members, you may want to get closer to your seats. We do have a local calendar this morning. Third reading and passage of uncontested local bills. Since there's only one bill on the local calendar, we will vote on that calendar as a whole. Mr. Clerk, will you read the local calendar?
House Bill 1029 by Representative Thomas, the 21st, City of Holly Springs.
Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered on the local calendar? Hearing none, the previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? Hearing none, the report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All those in favor of the passage of the bill on the local calendar will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no. And Mr. Clerk, will you unlock the machines? Have all members voted? All members voted. All members voted? If so, Mr. Clerk, will you lock the machines? On the passage of the bill on the local calendar, the yeas are 161, the nays are 0. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Majority Leader F. Stration is recognized to present a resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that the House adopt Senate Resolution 645.
Mr. Clerk, will you read the resolution?
Senate Resolution 645 by Senator Walker and others, calling a joint session of the House of Representatives and the Senate for the purposes of hearing a message from the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court.
Majority Leader F. Stration is recognized to speak to the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I bring to you today Senate Resolution 645. Every lawyer legislator's favorite day is the State of the Judiciary, which would be this Wednesday, beginning at 11 o'clock a.m. That's February 4th, 2026. And I'd ask for your favorable consideration of this joint resolution with the Senate. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield the well.
Is there any objection to the adoption of the resolution? Hearing none, the resolution is adopted. Majority Leader, you want to be recognized for another motion? Majority Leader is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that the House immediately transmit Senate Resolution 645 to the Senate.
Majority Leader has moved that we immediately transmit Senate Resolution 645 to the Senate. Is there objection? Hearing none, it is so ordered. Thank you. Members, we have some guests in the gallery this morning. We're going to recognize some members to recognize their guests in the gallery. You'll have a minute and a half up to 2 minutes to recognize your guest. Hopefully that's adequate. We'll begin with Representative Herring. Representative Herring. Representative Tangi. He waves. Representative Barnes. Representative Amati Barnes. Take your time, we're good. Representative Beckles, you're on deck.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good morning, colleagues. Good morning. Happy Monday.
Spin just for a minute. Members, give the lady in the wheel your attention, please. Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Happy Monday, colleagues. Look at your desk. What do y'all see? Stacks of paper, right? Has anyone ever thought how this paper makes it to the desk? Who makes the paper? Probably not. Well, people do make the paper. And machines make the paper, and engineers create those machines that make that paper that goes on our desk. And we have someone special up in the gallery, Mr. Lou Bose. He's a public servant, a creator of pipelines for people to make that paper that goes on our desk. He's a leader in the pulp and paper industry whose active involvement creates industry standards, education, and innovation. He creates pipelines at KSU, Kennesaw State University, for engineers to continue making this paper that goes on our desk. We don't think about the machinery that's needed to do that. So today I would like to honor Mr. Lou Bose, who's up in our gallery, an engineer who is huge in our paper industry and creating pipelines for our students at KSU. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield the well.
Thank you, Representative. Hey, thanks for what you do. We kind of like paper in Georgia, don't we? This forestry industry. Thanks for your service and your innovations in that paper industry. Thank you so much. Good to have you here. Representative Beckles and friends, at least one.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today to honor the remarkable dedication of those public servants who have devoted more than 3 decades of their lives to the city of Norcross, the city I call home. 30 years of service represents more than just a career. It represents a commitment to community, countless acts of service beyond call, and the kind of institutional knowledge that simply cannot be replaced. 2 such gentlemen are here today, John Davis and Marvin Rutledge. They have been through storms and sunshine, always getting the job done with excellence and integrity. And I have known each of them since I became involved with the city of Norcross in 2008. They are not merely employees, they are neighbors, community leaders, and trusted advisors who have earned the admiration and affection for all who know them. To those of you who have given 30 years or more, your dedication has not gone unnoticed. Your service has strengthened Norcross, made it more resilient, and better prepared for its future. We are grateful, proud, and honored to recognize your exceptional contributions. Please stand and be recognized. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield the well.
They look mighty young to have served 30 years there. Representative Beckles, congratulations. Thank y'all for your service. Representative Cummings, the lady is recognized. Give the lady in the well your attention, please. And friend. Oh, yeah, you got friends, plural. Ladies recognized. I'll just suspend and give them a chance to get here.
Good morning, everyone. I'd like to welcome the City Council and citizens from the City of Mableton. We're here today for our second annual Mableton Day at the Capitol. I'd like members of the City Council to please stand. And if there's anybody here from the City of Mableton, please stand. And I also have my colleague right here who wants to say hi to someone special.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Speaker, one of the young individuals that we are honoring from Mableton today got his start here in the clerk's office many years ago. And Joshua John Frank is one of those individuals that has made good, and he got his start right here in the Capitol. No, they went downstairs.
Okay, well, say hi to him when you see him. And we will be having lunch in CAP 216 at 12 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative. Thanks for mentioning someone who got a good start right here with us. So awesome. Thanks so much. Chairman Hatchett.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Gentlemen, suspend. This gentleman, y'all may pay attention to him. I certainly do.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So we've heard about service, community service this morning, and we've heard the number 30. Well, I'm going to give you the number 61. Today we have a group in the gallery that is keeping a tradition alive in Dublin and Lawrence County. This is the organizing committee for our annual St. Patrick's Day Festival. This festival lasts a month, and it's been going on for 61 years by volunteers. Several of these I know have been volunteering 30, maybe even 40 years. So will y'all stand and let us recognize you for the service you do for our community.
Thanks for keeping that tradition alive. Great city, Dublin, Georgia. We appreciate y'all, and good luck with this year's celebration. And thanks for the longevity of that celebration as well. We appreciate y'all being here. Representative Bell, recognized for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Greetings, colleagues. Today I would like to give recognition and a welcome from one of our very own outstanding Georgia citizens, Deriki Gayuka. Briefly, Deriki is a senior associate at the Atlanta office of Townsend and Lockhart. He also is a co-founder of a multi-city firm that has done over 21 billion in transactions and closings. Earlier on in his career, Deriki also was a federal and local courts where he worked at the appellate court in 2019. Later on, he's done so much more. But today we're here to talk about his service. As the previous president of Emerging 100, Lead Atlanta 2023, 2025 Atlanta Business Chronicle, the 40 Under 40 for the Atlanta Business Chronicle, 2024 Big Brothers and Sisters of Georgia and Game Changers, the 2024 Young Atlanta Leaders inaugural class participation. Deriki has done so much more. This year he has helped raise over $123,000. This year, he has helped raise over $123,000 for scholarships from young Georgians, as well as a combine of $1,200,000 combined in nonprofit service. Without further ado, can we give a round of applause for our outstanding citizen, Deriki Gayuka. As you can see, he's a young man, so this is also a charge on your life. Go forward and continue to do great things, and I'm proud to stand here with you in service. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Congratulations. Thanks for being here, and thanks for your work. Keep after it, right? Representative Willis. Representative Inga Willis is recognized for a morning order. The lady's recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good morning, colleagues. Good morning. It is my honor and privilege to acknowledge Links Day at the Capitol. The Links Incorporated is a fantastic organization that I'm honored to be a member of, comprised of over 17,000 women around the world dedicated to community service and uplift. There are 299 chapters. Someone gave a number for community service earlier. I'll present another one, and it is 1 million because the Links Incorporated submit 1 million documented service hours each and every year. My sisters are not sitting in the gallery this morning because they're in the Sloppy Floyd building in panels and presenting their legislative agenda and checking in on things that impact our community. So it is my honor and my privilege as a member of this organization to ask you to acknowledge Links Day at the Capitol. And when you see the gorgeous women in green and white walking through, please speak with them. They are your doctors and physicians in your communities. They are your principals. They are your HBCU presidents. They are women of high self-esteem and character. And at a time such as this, very, very necessary. So happy Links Day, my sisters. And if you would, colleagues, just acknowledge Links Day at the Capitol. Thank you.
There she is. Representative Doreen Carter is recognized for 2 minutes to speak to us about Black History Month.
Good morning and thank you.
Give the lady Noel your attention, please.
Well, I'm excited to stand before you this morning because we are celebrating the centennial of recognizing Black history in the U.S. So today, my moment in Black history, I rise to honor Lucy Craft Laney, one of Georgia's most influential educators and a true architect of opportunity. Born in Macon in 1854, nearly a decade before the end of slavery, Lucy Craft Laney learned to read at a time when educating Black children was illegal. Her parents understood that education was the pathway to freedom, and Lucy carried that belief for the rest of her life. She became part of the first graduating class of Atlanta University and went on to dedicate herself to teaching across Georgia. In 1883, she founded the Haynes Normal and Industrial Institute in Augusta, beginning with just 6 students in a church basement. Under her leadership, the school grew to educate hundreds of Black students and prepare them for college across the nation. Lucy Craft Laney believed education should develop both the mind and character. She established the first kindergarten for African American children in Augusta and helped create early nursing training programs for Black women, opening doors that had long been closed. Her legacy reminds us that education is not just instruction. It is empowerment, dignity, and hope. It is fitting that her portrait hangs just outside this door in the Capitol, a permanent reminder that Georgia's history is shaped by those who dare to teach, lead, and lift others. I am honored to honor and recognize Lucy Craft Laney today for a moment in Black history. Thank you, and I yield the will.
Thank you, Representative Carter. Members, I hope you'll join with me in recognizing a former member of this House and a good friend to many of us in here who now serves Cobb County on the GDOT board, and we appreciate your service there. Our former member, Doug Stoner. Let's make Doug welcome. That completes our morning orders. We'll move on to the rules calendar. We have 3 bills on the rules calendar this morning. Mr. Clerk, will you read the caption to House Bill 557?
House Bill 557 by Representative Hawkins, the 27th, and others, to be titled Act to Amend Code Section 1562 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to the number of judges of superior courts so as to provide for a sixth judge of the superior courts of the Northeastern Judicial Circuit. This bill having been referred to the Committee on Judiciary, that committee recommends that this bill do pass by committee substitute.
Chairman Lee Hawkins is recognized to present House Bill 557.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As you will notice, with the LC number, this is a substitute, and the reason for that is I dropped this bill last year. Our judges decided to wait until this year to let another circuit go through. So the substitute is a date change from 26 to 27 on lines 25 and 109. This bill simply adds a sixth judge to the Northeastern Circuit. I'll stand for any questions.
Gentleman has no questions.
Thank you, sir. I ask your support.
Gentleman has yielded the will and asked for your support. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? Hearing none, the previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to adopting the committee substitute? Hearing none, the committee substitute is adopted. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? Hearing none, the report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no. And Mr. Clerk, will you unlock the machine? Have all members voted? All members voted? If so, Mr. Clerk, will you lock the machine? On the passage of House Bill 557, the yeas are 169, the nays are 0. The bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Mr. Clerk, will you read the caption to House Bill 960?
House Bill 960 by Representative Clark and the 108th and others to be entitled an act to amend Code Section 1562 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating the number of judges of the superior courts so as to provide for a 12th judge of the superior courts of the Gwinnett Judicial Circuit. This bill having referred to the Committee on Judiciary, that committee recommends that this bill do pass.
Representative Jasmine Clark is recognized to present House Bill 960. The lady is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good morning, colleagues. Today I rise to ask for your favorable consideration for House Bill 960, which is LC 473480. This is a simple bill that would add a 12th judge to the Superior Court in the Gwinnett Judicial Circuit. Currently, the Gwinnett Judicial Circuit has almost 100,000 residents per Superior Court judge, which is almost twice the state average of 50,000 residents per judge. These judges are seeing just under 1,900 cases per judge, which is also well over the state average of just under 1,500. Based on this reality, Judicial Council has stated a demonstrated need of 14.6 Superior Court judges for the Gwinnett Judicial Circuit. This bill seeks to add one more judge to get us closer to meeting that need. This judgeship is the third on the list from Judicial Council for workload value. And additionally, while bills for additional judgeships to the Superior Court are general bills, this bill has bipartisan support of an overwhelming majority of the Gwinnett delegation, meeting the Gwinnett threshold of support for local legislation. We also have the support of the Gwinnett County Commission Chair. And with that, again, I ask for your favorable consideration for House Bill 960. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I'll yield for questions.
Lady has a couple of questions. Representative Drenner, to your left, is recognized for a question. Representative Drenner.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Does the gentlelady yield?
Yes, I yield.
Isn't it true?
The lady will suspend on her question just for a moment. Proceed, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Isn't it true that you are a member of the PhD caucus?
Yes, that is true.
Isn't it further true that this is your first bill and that we are all so happy for you? Congratulations.
Thank you. Yes, that is true.
And she has a consensus as well, too. That's pretty cool. Minority Leader of this House, Representative Hughley is recognized. Leader Hughley is recognized for a question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Does the gentle lady yield?
Yes, I yield.
So do y'all have all these bad people in Gwinnett that you need more judges? Is that what you're saying to us?
So the Superior Court handles a lot of different types of cases, not just criminal cases. And so what I would say is that Gwinnett is a great place to live, and that the concern is just that we want to make sure that our judges are able to handle their workload.
Lady has another question or two. Will she yield?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
And I would assure you, if I'd known that question, you wouldn't have had to answer that question. Subject matter. Thank you, Minority Leader. Representative Reeves, to your right.
Thank you, Mr.
Recognized for
Speaker.
question.
Would the chair lady yield?
Yes to my friend.
Is it not true that this bill is supported by the statistics from the Judicial Council for this county of over 1 million people? It is bipartisan, and the day this went through the Judiciary Committee, there were about 500 Gwinnett residents on jury duty about to try jury trials that day.
Absolutely, yes. The need is very great, and Judicial Council has recognized that as such. Yes, this is a very important bill for Gwinnett County.
Lady has one more to your left in the back. Representative Stinson is recognized for a question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Does the gentlelady yield?
Yes.
Madam Representative, can you tell me how House Bill 960 actually will impact the funeral home industry? The funeral home industry. How will this bill impact the funeral home industry?
Well, I think anytime we're dealing with cases that involve death, then they will eventually make their way to the funeral homes, and so therefore this is a very important bill for the Funeral Home Caucus.
So would this bill help judges be able to sign off on death certificates in a timely manner so the funeral home can take care of affairs on behalf of the families across the state of Georgia?
Absolutely, especially in the Gwinnett Judicial Circuit.
All righty, well, thank you.
Lady has no further questions, and I promise you I'll do a better job of screening your questions next time. Lady has no further questions.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield the well.
Good job. The lady has yielded the well. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? Hearing none, the previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? Hearing none, the report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no. And Mr. Clerk, will you unlock the machine? Mr. Clerk, will you? Just kidding. All members voted. All members voted. All members have voted. Mr. Clerk, will you lock the machine? On the passage of House Bill 960, the yeas are 169, the nays are 1. Bill having received the requisite constitutional majority is therefore passed. Congratulations. Representative Clark, would you mind coming up and let me have a photo with you as well? Thank you. Yes. Congratulations. Members, we'll move on. We have another bill on the rules calendar. Mr. Clerk, will you read the caption of House Bill 659?
House Bill 659 by Representative Green and the 154th and others to be titled an act to amend Chapter 34, Title 31 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to medical professionals for rural assistance so as to expand medical education funding and the service cancelable loan program. This bill having referred to the Committee on Rural Development, that committee recommends that this bill do pass.
Chairman Green is recognized to present House Bill 659. Chairman Green, Dean of this House.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, House Bill 659 addresses critical workforce and access to care needs related to optometry in our state. The bill expands eligibility for loan repayment and financial assistance programs to include optometrists, placing them alongside other healthcare professionals who serve Georgia communities and often carry significant educational debt. This bill originated out of the Rural Development Committee. This bill originated out of the Rural Development Committee, and we found that not only the problems that we were having with other health officials, that it was a large number of optometrists not serving rural areas. Right now in the state of Georgia, we train our people not in Georgia, but in Birmingham, Alabama, and in Memphis, Tennessee. We hope and trust that this is the beginning of a process for an optometry school in the state of Georgia. Georgia is one of the most populous states in the nation without an in-state optometry school, forcing students to leave the state for their education. I hope and trust that you will vote with me on House Bill 659, which increase access to vision and eye care services statewide and will strengthen the healthcare workforce, especially in rural Georgia. Mr. Speaker, if there's no questions, I yield the well.
Gentleman has no questions. Good job. Mr. Chairman, I think if you can't see, you can't learn to read, can you? Let's work on that at School of Optometry. Thank you for the bill. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? Hearing none, the previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? Hearing none, the report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All those in favor of the bill will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no. And Mr. Clerk, will you unlock the machine? Have all members voted? All members voted. If so, Mr. Clerk, will you lock the machine? On the passage of House Bill 659, the yeas are 168, the nays are 2. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. We're going to move on to afternoon orders today. I'm going to ask members, I want to recognize 2 members that's going to express some condolences to begin our afternoon orders. Members, I'm going to ask you to hold it to 1 minute, if in any way possible, 1 minute. And we'll recognize Chairman Dickey for an afternoon order. And I'll ask you members to stand and remain standing for the next afternoon order as well. Chairman Dickey.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I ask the members of the Macon Bibb delegation to come down. We had a former member who served in this body.
Chairman, suspend just for a moment.
Okay.
Macon Bibb delegation, if you'll come down.
I'd like to, Mr. Speaker, if I could, recognize John F. Stewart, a former member of this body. John served in this body an awful long time ago. He would have turned 100 next month. And he came in 1965, 64 and 65. There was a special reapportionment. To give you a little history, the county unit system was declared unconstitutional in 1962, and in 1963 and 4 they had a special reapportionment election with a lot of new members came in. 11 African Americans came in that special election. Carl Sanders was governor. George T. Smith was Speaker of this House, and other members you might recognize that served with John was Tommy Irvin, Joe Frank Harris, Julian Bond, Tom Murphy, George Busby, Marcus Collins, and others in this body, as well as Jimmy Carter, Bobby Rowan, and Culver Kidd across the way over in the Senate. But John was did not serve but 1 term. He got reapportioned out. It was a multi-district district in Macon, and but he loved this house, and he always asked me questions. He was very critical. He was not very sometimes encouraging to me. He was one of 9 Republicans at the time in this house, and but he loved this house, kept a close eye on it, and he survived. He lost his wife just 3 years ago, but survived by a great friend of mine, Steve Stewart, and his younger son, my brother-in-law, Cliff Stewart. So just a moment of silence for John F. Stewart. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Long life, former member, life well lived. Remain standing, Representative Tran. Representative Long Tran is recognized for a remembrance. Give the gentleman your attention, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. House District 80 has 2 officers who have fallen within the past 6 months. In Chamblee, Georgia, Officer Locke Tran, who served in Chamblee, Georgia, no relation to me, for 15 years. He had some health complications and passed away. And then in my city of Dunwoody, can't believe I forgot his name. Give me 1 second. Detective Jordan Laverty of Dunwoody, Georgia. He served in DeKalb County for 3 years and 8 years with the Dunwoody Police Department. So we'll take a moment of silence. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative. Thanks for their service. Members, you may be seated. Representative Bernal is recognized for an afternoon order. Give the lady in the well your attention.
If there are members of Clayton County delegation, they can come up at this time.
Clayton County Delegation, please join Representative Bernal in the well.
We are here to recognize Clayton County Public Schools Superintendent Dr. Anthony Smith, his retirement after 40 years of service. Tonight, Dr. Smith will conduct his last meeting. Dr. Smith, thank you for your service to our community and to the school district. You will be missed. And at this time, I'm going to let Representative Bell, Dr. Smith was Representative Bell's principal.
I would like to say on behalf of the graduating class of Mays Mill High School 2009 and all the other classes that Dr. Smith had a hand to touch, that we are honored to be your student, that we are honored to stand on the backs of giants and honored to go down the path that you have paved for us. So thank you, Dr. Smith. I know in the future your life has so much more ahead of you, and I hope we're making you proud. Mr. Speaker, we yield the will.
Thank you, Representatives. Congratulations, Dr. Smith. Great career. Representative Bell, we'll recognize you again while you're up here to speak to us again. The gentleman's recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today I rise because today we're reclaiming the moment to remember the past, to claim the beauty and the brilliance placed within us by our Creator. For me, braiding my hair is not just a style, but it's about history. It's about legacy. Braids trace back thousands of years across Africa, where every pattern spoke about an identity of a community or belonging. In times of bondage, our ancestors braided seeds into their hair so amongst the travel that they can sow seeds of life. The braids were messages and maps to freedoms. Even in oppression, they found a way to plant hope. So when I braided my hair today, it's not just about grooming. It's to honor the sacred past that we inherit. It's about wearing the prayers. It's about the strength and the survival of my people. And yet, too many children amongst us don't have the same pleasure and dignity and self-sovereignty. With that, I would like to bring awareness to the Crown Act, and thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield the will.
Thank you, Representative. Representative Buckner, recognized for an afternoon order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I've been asked to share with you this national newsletter that Tom Rollins wrote, and so I'm just going to read it as verbatim. First up is the situation in my home state of Georgia, where the Child Welfare Agency is on track for a $48 million shortfall and has this October stopped funding private agencies who do the necessary work of providing behavioral aids, family assessments, and transportation. The agency has treated this situation as a nothing burger, blaming juvenile court judges who order unnecessary services and providers who aren't doing their jobs. I said in a letter that was delivered to the governor last week, a child care agency that cuts off its private providers and drives some of them to close their doors is cutting off its nose to spite its face. While the legislature appears poised to reinstate and increase the funding, thankfully, the agency's attitude towards the providers is quite frankly horrendous. In a Republican-led state that's always invited public and private partnerships, this commissioner suggests that they should be handling these services in-house. If you found a child care system that can accomplish this mission purely relying on government services, please let me know. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chair Lady Smith, Representative Lynn Smith, recognized for an afternoon order.
So still good morning. Good morning, everyone. I want to thank you for your unanimous vote last week on the state regional water plans, but also to inform you that if any of you have any questions about it, I have some contact information at my desk. There were a few errors of aligning the representative up with the district, so we want to make sure that those questions get answered. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield the well.
Thank you, Representative Smith. Representative Ali. Give the gentleman the well your attention, please.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity. And members of this House, I direct your attention to the screen to see David. David is 15 years old, a future personal trainer, determined, hardworking, and immensely creative. Oftentimes, it's harder for teenagers to get adopted and get out of the system. And I ask that we create a world where that is not the normal, where we break that mold and we advocate for change at itsmyturnnow.dhs.gov. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Representative. Looking young man. Not you, Representative Ali, David. That's what I was talking about. Representatives Hagan and Camp. There is Representative Hagan. Representative Camp. Representative Camp, you want to join us down front? Chair Lady Camp. I'm going to talk about NCSL.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, and thank you, Mr. Speaker, for allowing us to talk for a moment. NCSL is going to be here this week. Every single member in this room is a member of NCSL. You are all members. They are a great resource for data, for research. They will research things for you. The meetings are wonderful to go to because you get a chance to hear what other states are doing and learn from other colleagues and make connections. And I'm going to turn this now over to Chair Hagan to follow up.
Thank you, Chair Camp. I just want to let all of you know, if you haven't seen in your House email account, there is an email from NCSL inviting you to click on a link where you can sign up to meet with them this week while they are here visiting. So please take advantage of that if you'd like to meet with them. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, ladies. I know many of you are involved with NCSL. It's a good opportunity to visit with them and learn what the opportunities are. We are members of NCSL, and it's a commitment that we make, so that opportunity and that information and those resources are available to us all. So I encourage all of you to take advantage of them this week, but certainly in the future as you engage with folks from around the country. Representative Ballard, Blackman, Dickey, and Crow.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Colleagues, I stand before you today to recognize the courageous service of Warner Robins Police Officer Matthew Whitell. Last Thursday, Officer Whitell was shot several times while responding to a domestic disturbance, putting himself in harm's way to protect our community. We are profoundly grateful that he survived his injuries and is now recovering in the hospital. Our law enforcement officers, including Officer Whitell, routinely run toward danger, safeguarding our citizens during their most difficult moments. We owe a tremendous debt of gratitude to him and to all who serve in law enforcement. Thank you.
Thank you, and prayers and great thoughts for his recovery. Our Representative Griffin. Gentleman is recognized for an afternoon order. The gentleman from Milledgeville, Georgia, Representative Griffin.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker and members of this House, I rise today to recognize Black History Month, a time not only to reflect on the past, but to draw the lessons that continue to guide our work. Black History Month is often described as a story of struggle, but it is also a story of service, strength, and stellar leadership. Throughout history, black men and women served their communities and this nation, often without recognition because service was necessary. They served in churches, schools, neighborhoods, and in uniform, carrying the responsibility greater than their authority. My years in uniform taught me that leadership is measured not by rank, but by responsibility to the people you serve. Black history also teaches us about strength, quiet strength, rooted in faith, disciplines, and character. Strength that endured hardship and helped communities together during uncertain times. And perhaps most importantly, Black history teaches us the value of steady leadership because it did not come overnight. It came because people showed up consistently, did the work, and stayed focused on moving forward. History reminds us that leadership is not defined by title, but by responsibility. It is also solved by problems, and others remain steady when challenged. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I got a couple of extra minutes, right? Thank you.
You did. But you put them to good use, Representative. I appreciate you. That concludes our afternoon orders. Mr. Clerk, will you read the caption to a group of privileged resolutions?
Honoring the life and memory of Mother Essie Lee Hardin High. Recognizing and commending the Georgia Association of Community Care Providers. Recognizing and commending the Georgia State Society, National Society Children of the American Revolution celebration the 250th anniversary of the founding of the United States of America. Recognizing the Community Associations Institute Georgia Chapter. Recognizing February 7th through 14, 2026 as Congenital Heart Defect Awareness Week. Congratulating the Harvest Tabernacle Church upon its 25th anniversary. Commending the Clayton County Chamber of Commerce and recognizing February 5th, 2026 as Clayton Chamber Day at the state capitol. Commending the Jamaica Caribbean for their extraordinary humanitarian response and valiant efforts to provide disaster relief to residents of Jamaica. Recognizing January 26, 2026 as Day of Democracy. Recognizing, commending Andrew Jones upon his induction to the National Baseball Hall of Fame. Recognizing, commending Community Supervision Officer Tracy Whitaker, Department of Community Supervision 2025 Officer of the Year. Recognizing February 4th, 2026 as Physicians Day at the state capitol. Commending the Lynx Incorporated and recognizing February 2nd, 2026 as the Georgia Lynx Day at the state capitol. Recognizing the 117th Founders Day of the NAACP. Recognizing, commending Richard Storer. Recognizing February 5th, 2026 as Youth Build Day at the Capitol. Recognizing, commending Reflections of Trinity. Commending Laura S. Martin, MA, MPH, for her exceptional service and leadership in advancing global health. Commending Delta Sigma Theta Sorority, Inc. for its 113 years of service and recognizing February 23rd, 2026 as Delta Day at the state capitol. Recognizing, commending Don Kohler on his outstanding public service as Executive Director of the Georgia Peanut Commission. Recognizing Gas South upon its 20th anniversary. And for other purposes, that completes the reading of the privileged resolutions.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Is there any objection to adopting the privileged resolutions? Hearing none, the resolutions are adopted. We're ready for announcements now. Representative Lehman Franklin, are you ready for an announcement? And let's see, Leader F. Stration, you'll be on deck for your announcement. And Representative Tran, you'll be in the cleanup circle there. Representative Franklin is recognized, and friends, or at least one friend.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Colleagues, you may have seen or recognized that there's been some wood materials and building materials being delivered right now at Liberty Plaza, and that's because Habitat for Humanity is going to have their construction day tomorrow. It's going to start early in the morning, a little bit before 9, but if you can get there at 9 and go visit and talk to them and just see what they're doing, there's a bunch of volunteers all throughout Georgia is going to be there. More than likely, there'll be somebody there from your district. They're also going to have lunch tomorrow, so please, after session, just drop by there and say hello and see all the good work they're doing. Thank you.
Habitat, good organization. Leader F. Stration, recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. There will be a committee chairman's lunch upon adjournment, 12 noon, in room 403 of the Capitol. Committee chairman's lunch, 403 of the Capitol. Thank you.
Representative Tran.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. DeKalb delegation, we have a meeting with the Board of DeKalb County Commissioners today upon adjournment. Lunch is provided. Again, DeKalb delegation, meeting in room 514. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chairman Corbett, recognized for announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Motor Vehicles Committee will meet at 8 o'clock in the morning, room 606 in the LOB. Everybody get your engines revved up and be ready to go. Thank you.
Representative Hilton and Representative Ballard. I hope y'all got this worked out since y'all are seatmates.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, there is an education subcommittee meeting this afternoon, policy and innovation. That is in CLOB 506. CLOB 506 at 1 o'clock.
The Curriculum and Academic Achievement Subcommittee will meet in the same room at 2 o'clock. Thank you.
Chairman Powell, recognized for an announcement.
Members of Regulated Industries, don't forget you've got your first committee meeting of the session today at 2 o'clock. You need to be there. We have a new member that's been pinned, and she's excited to be there.
Representative Vance Smith is recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We have two subcommittee meetings today for natural resources. The first one will start at 2 p.m. in room 415 of the CLOB, and the second one will start at just as soon as the first one completes. We'll start the second one. Thank you.
Chairman Chokas, recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We have tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. a small business development meeting in room 506, and we will be having the Georgia Self-Storage Mini Storage Association presenting to us. It should be interesting. See you tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chairman Hitchens, and the timer's on, so chairman's recognized.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
We'll suspend. I'm going to hear this one. This is an invite.
Today is Effingham Day at the Capitol, but our people are elsewhere right now, and they're going to be here in the morning. But what we'd like to do is invite you to a reception tonight, the Speaker and I, at the Whitley Hotel, right across from Lenox Mall in the gallery room. Everybody's invited.
That concludes our announcements. If you have a page, if you'll come down front as soon as we adjourn, join those pages, and myself will take some photos, making memories. For what purpose does Representative Chaz Cannon rise?
Mr. Speaker, to make a motion.
State your motion.
Make a motion, move that House Bill 1063 be moved from the Committee on Energy, Utilities, and Technology to the Special Committee on Resource Management. Both chairmen are in agreement, Mr. Speaker.
Clerk, will you read the caption?
House Bill 1063 by Representative Thomas, the 21st and others entitled an act to amend Article 1 of Chapter 3, Title 46 of the Official Code of Georgia, annotated relating to generation and distribution of electricity generally.
On the gentleman's motion that House Bill 1063 be withdrawn from the Committee on Energy, Utilities, and Telecommunications and recommitted to the Special Committee on Resource Management, is the objection? Hear it? There is objection. Does the gentleman move? The gentleman moves. All right, members, you need to get close to your desk. We're going to vote on this objection on moving this bill. All those in favor of moving House Bill 1063 from Utilities and Technology to the Special Committee on Resource Management, if you're in favor of that motion, you'll vote yes. If you're against it, you'll vote no. Mr. Clerk, will you unlock the machine? All members voted. All members now voted. If so, Mr. Clerk, will you lock the machine? On the gentleman's motion, the yeas are 123, the nays are 10, and this bill has been withdrawn and moved to the Committee on Special Committee on Resource Management. That concludes our business for the day. The majority leader of this House is recognized for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that this House stand adjourned until Tuesday, February 3rd, 2026 at 10 o'clock a.m.
On the motion of the majority leader, this House stand adjourned until 10 a.m. tomorrow, Tuesday, February the 3rd, 2026. All those in favor will say aye. Opposed, no. Ayes clearly have it. This House stand adjourned.